All right, so what's your name and what year are you?
My name is Almira Louie, and I'm in my 4th year.
I'm Anmi and I'm a junior.
My name is Ayo, and I'm about to be a senior.
What made you want to study abroad in Oviedo?
I wanted to study abroad because I wanted to improve my Spanish proficiency, and I also wanted to get to know the people and the culture of this language that I've been studying for years and really get that full immersive experience.
So I want to study abroad because I wanted to travel and work on my Spanish and hopefully work towards becoming more fluent. But yeah.
I want to be a family and juvenile lawyer, and I just felt like being bilingual would give me the opportunity to be able to help other people that didn't just speak English. So I felt like studying abroad and being immersed in the culture would help me.
What were your first impressions?
My first impressions of Oviedo was that it's a lot like Eugene, but also mixed with sort of like the hills of San Francisco. It's a relatively small city compared to Madrid and Barcelona, whereas those cities get tons of tourists from all over the world and everyone speaks English. Oviedo is the kind of place where actual people who live in Spain, actual Spaniards, go for their own vacation. So in that sense, it was great for the immersive aspect because everywhere you went, it was Spanish all the time. And that's one of the main reasons why I chose Oviedo, is to have that full immersive experience.
So I thought it was very interesting. It was smaller than I thought it was, but it was a super safe place to go. But
I thought it was really pretty. It's really different than Madrid, which is the only other part of Spain that I've been to. But it's really calm. Everybody's really nice, so I loved it when I first got here.
what was your favorite memory?
My favorite memory was when we took a school trip to the mountain range that's near Oviedo. It's called the Los Picos de Europa. And I remember we took a bus early in the morning, and the bus wound around this really, really precarious route all over the mountain. And they actually said because that road is so dangerous, basically, they only allow a limited number of vehicles to cross it per day, and also to preserve sort of like the natural environment. And so our school got special permission to take us there one weekend. And once we got to the top, there was these 2 lakes, and surrounding it were all these cows just grazing around, and you could walk by the cows and see them, and you couldn't get that close, you couldn't touch them because they would, charge at you, but you could get fairly close, and that was just an absolutely incredible experience. It was just beautiful and picturesque. Honestly, we were so high up that it was almost like the clouds were right next to us, and then there was cows, and then the lake, and it was absolutely beautiful.
My favorite memory was going to the beach after class. So after class we'd go with a bunch of friends and just take a bus 30 minutes down to the beach and just chill and eat and yeah.
I think just traveling and meeting people in different cities of Spain, that was really cool.
My favorite food was actually one that I didn't have in Oviedo, but after our trip, after our program, I traveled around to the various cities, and I went to Sevilla, which is in the south, and there I had arroz negro, which is basically rice with squid ink. I'm not sure if it's a specialty of the southern region, because each region has their own specific foods that are particular to them, but it was delicious.
Okay, so I had 2 different foods that I liked. So I really liked paella, which is their special rice. It's mixed with chicken and different things. And then my other favorite food was croquetas, and they're just deep fried cheesed and ham filled I don't know. It was just really good.
Well, I lived in a homestay, so my host mom cooked a lot of different things. I'd say the pasta that she made 5 different kinds. It's pretty good. And then there's Spanish tortillas. Tortillas. Yes, muy bueno.
Ooh, what did you learn or was shocking to you?
The thing that was most surprising to me about Oviedo is that it's actually the cleanest city in all of Spain. our school took a trip down to City Hall, and we saw this huge case filled with these trophies year after year of Oviedo being declared the cleanest city in all of Spain. And before we went there, we would actually notice as we were walking to class that the ground was always wet, and so we were like, did it rain last night? Does it just rain each night? Like, what's going on? But turns out they were just cleaning the streets every single night, every day. And that was something that I just had no idea. Like, I didn't know it was a competition that they do, and I was just thrilled that Oviedo won because it's an absolutely beautiful city, and this just contributed to it.
What was shocking to me was how there weren't a lot of like younger people there. There weren't a lot of kids, there weren't a lot of like people like our age and things like that. It was mostly like older, mostly like adults and like elder people. We were in class and like our teacher explained how everyone would just stay here to go to school and then leave elsewhere to go work because the economy there was just so bad.
I learned a lot of vocab words, muchas palabras, oraciones, y la cultura de España en Oviedo. Hay muchas fiestas que ocurren aquí. There's los Sanfermines, Fermines, which is like a race where there's like a whole bunch of bulls and stuff that run through the street, los calles, eat like people run in front of them and get chased. It's crazy. There's a lot of different things that are really cool. So I learned about the history. What was shocking to me, I think, was the bull thing, that fiesta thing. I would never run in front of bulls. And I think just hearing the way that they talk here, they really use vosotros, which is not a verb tense that we use in the States. So just hearing them use it, learning how to talk with a lisp and say words like zona instead of zona or zona, or gracias instead of gracias.
Was there any part of your experience that was challenging?
I think the most challenging part for me was the diet. I didn't expect it to be so different than from the States. A lot of foods that I'm used to here weren't available there. And so I think that adjustment period into getting to know what food means what in Spain, how it's prepared and things like that. And also, the names for the foods were quite different. Like, when you take Spanish classes in the States, you sort of learn, like, generally, like, this one word for this one type of food, right? But each country has their country-specific vocab for that food as well. So in Spain that happened where like I knew this one word for it, but they had 3 different words for that food. But then each version like was prepared for or differed slightly, and I didn't know what was what. So it was challenging at first when you're just at a restaurant ordering something, you're not quite sure what's gonna come out. But it was a good challenge. It was a good experience.
What was most challenging about the whole thing was, first of all, traveling internationally alone. I've never done that before, so it was like a whole different experience, just like trying to figure everything out, especially like getting to Spain and like having everything in Spanish was different. Another thing that was difficult was just more of understanding like everyday vocabulary, because like when you're in school, like you learn general like topics that you wouldn't like, I guess, know or use in everyday life. So things such as like what ingredients were called. So like if I were to go to read a menu, I wouldn't know what like something really simple was, because that's not something they teach you.
Yes. I think the most challenging part was just being in school and learning and relearning stuff, but trying to figure out how to use it when you speak and when you write. I don't know, it's really different to like learn it and understand it. Like you can learn it and like know how to conjugate words, but then like having to use it actually when it comes to like speaking and writing is a little difficult. So I think that was the most challenging part. It was pretty easy to make friends. Everyone's really outgoing and open, excited to meet people. Because I was in homestay, I tried a lot more than I would if I wasn't, so that was nice. Yeah, and talking with natives is pretty fair. It's not too bad. I think I've had like a fair share of experiences where they've understood me when I talk to them, and vice versa. So yeah, I've learned more Spanish despite the fact that I am not fluent. I've learned more, and that's great. At least I learned. So yeah.
Would you study abroad again?
Yes, absolutely. I'm graduating, so I unfortunately don't have the chance to actually study abroad again, but I think everyone should have that experience at least once because it's a great way to not only get to know a new country and learn the language and really be immersed in the culture, but you also get to take classes there, and with that you build connections to not only the professors but also to the other students in your class. And it's just an all-around amazing experience to get to meet a whole bunch of new people, whether they're learning it as a second language like you or whether they're native speakers. And it's just such a unique experience that you don't get if you just go somewhere travel on your own. So 100% yes.
So yes, I would definitely study abroad again. It was like one of my favorite experiences that I've had so far. It was just really fun. I met a lot of people that I'm like really close with now, and just like seeing another culture was really cool. But yeah, I recommend traveling. Like if you can travel, I would go travel.
Yes, I just love it. I just love being able to travel, go to another country, and see what it's like to live somewhere else than where I've lived for 20-something years. Meet new people. I've met a ton of great people that unfortunately don't go to the same school as I do, but I know I'll forever have those connections with them through social media, text message, calls. Viva España! Ciao! Hasta luego!